This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's talk about another guy who should have been a bigger deal. The Ministry of Countryside writes in, if things hadn't played out the way they did and he had joined the WWF, how far do you think Gino Hernandez would have gotten? And alternatively, do you think he would have been a good traveling NWA champion? It looks like he had all the tools to succeed in either place. What say you?
Well, from a performance / appearance / having all the tools, from what I've seen, and I've just seen the series that's on right now, Dark Side of Wrestling, is mostly the most of what I've seen of Gino. I'd heard about him. People have told the stories, limited about Gino. The people I've been around, Tully talked about him a little bit. He was partners with him for a period. But Gino kind of stayed in that one part of the country. He didn't make the rounds. So I didn't run into a lot of people over the years that really knew him and traveled with him or anything like that. But I just, like everybody else in those days, in the 80s, if you wanted to find out about wrestling, you opened up a wrestling magazine, and I would see him featured in those and some of those situations. But I think he was a tremendous talent. Certainly left us too soon. But as far as knowing him personally, I don't know enough about his personal habits to tell you one thing about being the world champion that everyone has to understand. You got to be in a different city, sometimes a different area of the country, sometimes a different area of the world, all in 1 week. And you're doing 45 to 60 minutes every single night. You got to show up. No matter who their opponent is for you, you got to go out and make them look like a credible challenger so that after you have your match and you leave that territory, the person you work with is better for it. If you don't, you're not performing your job as the world champion. That's your job, to travel the entire world, or it was back in the day, travel the entire world and make every challenger better than what they are. So when you leave there, you go, Jesus, he almost had him. So you leave their territory, their company in better shape than it was before you got there. And that was the job of the world champion, which meant you can't party too much. You got to get enough rest. You got to eat good. You got to do all those things, make your planes, make sure that you don't miss any flights, any of that stuff. It's a very, very tough job, and one that you've got to be really responsible to pull off.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.